Hi. Yes. I'm gonna look at you. Sorry about that, folks. I'm gonna make my order. There's the harsh lighting. There we go. Black coffee? Nope. Nope. Peach tea. Jasmine lychee tea. Don't want beer. Wait a minute. I saw some Cokes. You have Coke, right? Coca-Cola?
No, I don't have.
You don't have? I saw downstairs. All right. So I'm going to
Have
cafe tea. Okay. So I want cold tea. What is a good cold tea?
You can try.
But that's coffee with. I want cold tea.
Cold tea.
Yes. Iced tea.
You want to try it?
The tamarind with ice or the dried apricot? I'm going to go with the dried apricot kumquat with ice. Okay. Thank you.
It's 55.
55. So we pay now. Coming up. Doo-doo-doo. I'm sure I have. I get changed. So it takes a while for the lighting to adjust, and I just wanted to be up here on the second story as opposed to the first story where it is a little more humid, and they have like misters here. You can see them, they spray a little bit of vapor and it lowers the temperature. And this isn't like the park in front of us is cordoned off, so it's not very pretty to see these blue tarpaulins, and it's just, you know, traffic and a little bit of foot traffic. So, but it is a perch, and it is on the second story. So there's that. So there we go. Some activity below. There's a woman who's selling, it looks like mangoes, but they look like twice as fat as mangoes that I'm familiar with. Generally mangoes are more flat. But this is Vietnam. All kinds of varieties of things grow here. So I ordered a tea with kumquat, and I can't remember what the other fruit was. But I'm sure it's going to be ice cold, and that's what I'm going to have. So I'm just trying to find a place to carefully perch you because there's wood. This is like a wood deck, and I kind of like being like a bird in a tree or a cat on a limb watching the world go by while I have a delicious, refreshing tea. So there's this lady across the way pushing her cart. Let's watch how she navigates. Yeah, that'll make good stock footage. You never know when you need to see a woman navigating traffic in your stock footage. So I have a little mini clip. Could tell a story, you know? So, since breakfast, I pretty well managed to find a close by accommodations. So it's just a very short cab ride, and I've got the luxury of there's probably a way to adjust to keep the settings so that it doesn't go highly stark, but I just haven't got around to studying. I'm just trying to get comfortable, which I am not quite yet. But this is my technique in fixing the lighting issue. It's just holding a salute above my head. Sure, it looks perfectly natural. But I think what I want to do is maybe go back down to the people below. Yeah, they're walking, and I'm going to just send a tweet out to our Twitter friends. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So my change arrived, and I was distracted, and I didn't even notice my waitress is very quiet. A true sidle upper. You only notice them when they're upon you. So, yes, it's nice here in the shade and in the mist, and it's hot out there. So I have my other iPhone here and my battery perched there. I was on a live stream earlier on Heckle, and the money exchange guy behind the window was very quick to notice I was filming. So he cut me short and said, no camera, no filming, which is perfectly fine. But I was able to get a decent educational real life, what it's like to be in a queue for the most popular exchange place in Vietnam. Come on. So this is my kumquat and peach. It's a dried peach tea and kumquat juice. So we're about to give it the good test. So it's got ice in it. And there are some viewers that are conscious of the type of straws. Unfortunately, this is a plastic straw. I didn't know. Wow, very concentrated flavor. So you slowly sip it as you watch the world go by. There seems to be a lot more activity up here than there is on the street below. So I could walk around, but I'm kind of comfortable in my chair. So I'm trying to sit back. Like you can see behind me, this is how. There you go. There are my blues, right? That's nice lighting for my blues. So yes, I went to Hawaii, and I remember having a second story tea house sit down in Hawaii in 2020, and it was quite memorable. So there was some mulling of fruit in the preparation of this tea. I approve. It's going to hit the mark. So I have all of my luggage carefully ordered in a waiting room. I have lunch with 2 beverages, water and iced tea, and a sourdough bread, grilled cheese with bacon, egg, and tomato in a nice crushed fruit box. And basically I just need to wander over there when I feel like it and order myself a cab, and it's going to be like a 5-minute ride, maybe less, to my new lodgings, and from there I can plan my next move as to where I'm going to go next from here in a leisurely manner as I can. Very nice. The other day I was in that park, and there are pathways, and you know the park is cut by the cardinal points, right? North, south, east, and west. And I happened to find myself in the middle, and there was really hardly any people around me, and you can hear the traffic that surrounds the park from here. But when you're in the park, the trees and the leaves have a way of insulating the traffic noise, so there's a different kind of existence, a kind of a quietness that you get inside the park. So I enjoy doing that. Around this time is when my Twitter Spaces friends go live. So I'm going to see if I can check in on them. And hopefully you'll get some interesting views while I check my Twitter feed. Okay.
Rồi mới được vậy chứ mà nói gì kỳ vậy? Cái này tác phẩm của tác phẩm ca hỏi xuống làm sao? Nói chuyện không có coi đầu thích. Đây là tác phẩm nghệ thuật này.
Yeah, I've seen people struggle with their luggage. Well, I say struggle. When you have luggage on wheels and you're not having to physically carry them, that's already a bonus. But you got a lot of inclines and cracks and steps and things, and you got to navigate around people, motorbikes, traffic. So it can stress you out, especially if you're lost. So it doesn't look like any Spaces people I know are live at the moment, so I'm going to give that a gonna have a peek inside. I'm curious to see. Wait. So this is inside my kumquat and dried peach tea. It's delicious. Perfect for a hot day like today. And there we go. Sorry, Greta. It's plastic. But I have had many paper straws and glass and stainless bendies while I'm here. The Melbourne Cafe had stainless and glass straws for me at my order today. So there is hope. Well, friends, there probably won't be much excitement on this trip. I mean, on this broadcast. I was hoping we would have better views, and it just turns out that they're not. And you know, I don't see any reason why to delete this because it's informative and it's just not as interesting as one might hope, but there's always the next one, and the next one, and the one after that. So we have something to look forward to. So here we are on the 4th of February in District 1 of Ho Chi Minh City, otherwise formerly known as Saigon, and it's MJ. How are you doing today? I did. Some Twitter Spaces people got me over the hump, and I'm able to go live without having to go through the, you know, hand over your firstborn. I'm having a dried peach and kumquat tea on ice. And I'm on a second-story tea house balcony. The view isn't all that great down there. It's more interesting up here. I saw your guitars, so you know I would be jealous if I was into gear acquisition and if I could play. So no, I can't play, so I shouldn't be jealous, but I'm happy for you. And I figure there aren't enough live venues around for you to play your guitars in. So that's a shame, but eventually you will get around to hauling them around and playing them. One would hope, because how do you explain the expenditure to your wife, right? Like, what are you using these for if you can't even play them? I'm just kind of channeling something that I have known nothing about, but I know there are a lot of husbands whose wives watch extremely carefully their gear expenditures, and they've always got to keep it hidden from them. Oh, you're so fortunate. You know, my onsen in Beito. It's called the Waterhouse. Very simple, and it was like a reasonable 24 US bucks or 25 US bucks for, you know, 5 hours. There was a hot and a little bit hotter and a cold bath, towel, locker, electronic wrist thing. and there was an attendant that came in and out, and it really was not too packed. So there's just the odd person, and everybody kept like their personal space. Oh, then you see all those gear guys wish they could have your situation, because there's so much fighting that could be avoided, so many near divorces that have occurred because of these impulse buys, or I need this. So the studio pays for it. Wow. It sounds like you are one of those individuals, because we didn't really go too deep into it, but you know what they say, if you, something about having a hobby for a job, you're not really working. And I don't know if, it's a hobby, it's like a lifelong dedication to stuff, but when you enjoy your work, you're not really working. So I happen to be in that camp, but of a different sort. And yes, I can tell you're in your element when you're behind your gear, your instrument, and you're performing. By the way, that performance at the Irish pub, and I'm trying to remember the name, doesn't matter. It was in Kaohsiung, the second night. It was a very, very nice appointment. I mean, a nice performance for us dinner crowd. And I'm very glad I went, and I was more than impressed with the musicians nightclub, again, whose name escapes me, in Kaohsiung. But I really liked the vibe of all the musicians that went there for the love of playing music for other musicians. And if there's an audience there, that was incidental. That was the point of that evening, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I see you're obviously, and you have many irons and many fires. So it's good keeping up with you, because it's Oxford, yes, the Oxford Club, the Irish pub, and Rocks in Kaohsiung. I'm saying with a G, but it's spelled differently. It's a very unusual thing about pronunciation and how it's spelled. You can have two different ways of spelling it, and it still means the same place. So, thanks for figuring out how I can, how Line can work on my phones, because now I just need to turn on the app, and even if I change SIMs or countries or whatever, it'll still be like an ongoing feature for me. Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, I'm catching my breath. But in a way, I had a lot of learning curves, right? For being a recent traveler. I haven't traveled in a couple of years, so all of those muscles of packing, unpacking, compartmentalizing, editing, and then figuring out how to get from A to B's, and whether it's trains, planes, automobiles, boats, it's all like new, and there's so much potential to make little boo-boos that the little hurts that they create are such that you may never make those mistakes again. So that's all part of being on vacation, I guess. And so it's been a magnificent vacation so far. And I'm feeling good about the fact that I have till the end of the month before, I'm going to transition back into my old life, which I don't miss at the moment, but I know I will be grateful going back. So the time will come when it comes. In the meantime, I'm on vacation. So there we go. And there's a little bit of unknown, which is good. That Thai place was a trip. Addie seemed to like you while being really annoying. And I'm not sure, you mean Addie was the one who had a little too much alcohol? Who, yeah, he seems like he likes a lot of people, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Addie is the same person we're talking about. But yeah, the Thai place, the karaoke place, you were good in giving me the earplugs because I haven't had the kind of life where I actually needed to protect my ears. I've gone to concerts, you know, arena concerts as a young person, and then by the time you get to your 30s, you know, you get to a little more smaller venues and the music doesn't need to be as loud as such. So I've been spared, you know, like when you hear the stories of what happened to Pete Townsend and all of those rock musicians that had, you know, super amplified shows, and now they can't hear fuck all. So thank you for looking out for for my hearing health, because apparently your hearing diminishes. There's certain frequencies you can't hear as you get older. The loud talker, LOL. It was fun watching the guys. Yeah. Well, people watching is always, you know, observing human nature in its element and how things unfold. It's like, where is this gonna go, right? So yes, we are all, you know, in our own way, like what they do in Paris on those bistro terraces. They watch and well, in Paris they judge, apparently. But you can just watch without judging, as such. So I was reading through your last feed, and I was trying to keep up. I think it was last night, so there's a flurry of entries there. And did you say you were driving? You're obviously doing something right now. Oh, you're in the onsen. Oh, so are you luxuriating in a hot tub with your phone? Or you're in between soakings? Because I swear, you know, I had about 2.5 hours, and I completely exfoliated whatever dead skin I might have on this carcass from my soaking in the Waterhouse onsen. And you know, the thing is that what have I been waiting for so long? In fact, well, I had a friend that had a cottage on the lake, and there was like fresh lake water that fed into the plumbing, and he brought up a jacuzzi there, and this was like in the late 80s when I was going, and it was already established. So he had built the place in the early 80s. So when you were jacuzzied in hot water from that lake, you just came out feeling really clean. And that reminded me of those, you know, those moments in the 90s when I would go to that cottage on the lake. So yeah, it's been a while since I've had a proper soaking. You're just resting. Well, yes. You must. You must when you must. So I've been pretty good, but you know, I haven't been all sleep deprived by shifting places. I am kind of planed out. Like the flight from Taiwan to, it wasn't necessarily tiring, but it's just like I've had so many flights since I began that yeah, I don't want to get on another plane for maybe a couple of more weeks, which I think is achievable. I can go night train, I can do, you know, bus, I can hopefully do some boating, like Halong Bay, sleep on a boat, and other things of that nature, other forms of transportation. So today I'm going to focus on researching things to do in the Mekong Delta. I'm told that if I go in, I will immerse myself into like authentic Vietnamese culture, and it'll be a more meaningful experience for me than if I were to go to Nha Trang, which is like a beach town. I think it's 4 hours. It should be 4 hours. Our plane was delayed, so we were seated, but we sat for an hour until we were given permission to take off, and we were an hour late boarding. So was the tiring part, is seating and not moving. But I already had my visa printed out, so getting through customs was a breeze. And I didn't have a working phone, so immediately some asshole wants to give me a taxi ride, and they want $55. Bye-bye. So luckily I wasn't too tired, and my cab ride cost $8 and a very, very small tip because the cabbie didn't have change for me. And then I got my phone, and not even little incidences like that can happen. Yes, they do fly around, and I didn't get hit with a surcharge this time. I was told when I looked into it that it would be $216 on the way back to Vietnam, but it all depends on the ticket agent at the check-in counter you get on any given day. The one that I got, she was really sweet. She said, "You're about 6 kilograms over in your check-in. You were to, repack your things and put on your carry-on. No penalty fee." So that's what happened. I saved myself a lot of anger because it kind of has a way of skewing your trip, as it were. I was hit with a $90 and it left a really bad taste in my mouth on the way into Taiwan because I was unaware, and I didn't realize that it's probably just shifting something from one. But I also had an asshole at the check-in counter who was gonna make an example of me. No, nothing. I mean, I went through security. They cared the fact that they had me take my iPad mini and my iPad out of my bag, but the drone was fine. So even on the security, and they took away like some shampoo that it was like above the legal limit, but no, not the drone. And the drone did that flyaway, and we found it undamaged. So I get to fly it again. Yes. So I'm happy about that. And it looks like Prism's working with Twitter. And hey, all this time, all of my former live stream viewers and my most recent ones have just been saying they love the Rode mic. And which reminds me, I don't know if I should take advantage of the what you were telling me about what I should get for my iPhone 13, which needs a Bluetooth, like something like a clip-on. And if I were to find it here in Saigon, or maybe when I go up to Hanoi, I don't know if you get better prices here in Vietnam, because sometimes things get like a luxury tax added onto them. But at least I'll know what to shop for when I go back home. So like a lav mic for my iPhone mini, because I'm not properly mic'd with that, and it's there's no hurry for that. It's just that I know that you already touched on it, and it's probably in one of our chat texts. but I'm not sure if you had named a particular brand or whatever. So yeah, we're pretty well caught up. So yeah, I'm picturing yourself. So is there anything special about the mineral content in the water of your, and I forget how to pronounce it, onsun? Is it? Well, thank you. Yeah, because there's a lot of cacophony around me, and the way I describe it is the road mic picks up 75% of what goes here and only 25% of what's out there. So you're already ahead of, you know, the game, as it were. And no other mic does that I've heard. But what's the mineral content of the water that you're bathing in? Is it sulfur? It's carbonic acid. Okay, so that like eats away at all your dead skin and stuff like that. Which, who wants that, right? Would you want my dead skin, or like, here's a hair? You know, it's like nobody wants it. So goodbye. Good old carbonic acid. I think there's some carbonic acid in my kumquat dried peach tea. A little bit. Got you. In small measures. Well, I wasn't expecting you or anybody to come into this broadcast, but I'm glad you did. And this is the second one on this trip, and they are all a bit different. I'm glad to hear that, yes, because sometimes a person can have a complicated range of needs and whatnot, and you can get a little bit from one and then a little bit from the other. It's like Goldilocks, you know. It's a little too hot, a little too cold, and then there's just right. So, bruh, I'm glad you're coming in, and you know, it would be nice if every now and then, every few years, you get a convergence of your online pals that somehow manage to be in the same place at the same time. But in the meantime, I still see you eating well, and I see myself being the other side of the world, being jealous of the things you're eating. But at least now I can say yes, but I have been there and I have eaten that. And yeah, I'll just have to come back when the sweet potato leaves are in season, which is in the summertime. But yeah, I could not have had a better Taiwanese experience had it not been for your guidance and your assistance from the get-go. Yes. Or same thing. So I'm gonna let you go, and then we'll probably see you either on. This is a plug for The Real Taiwan. Check out his link, and you'll see current events happening in Taiwan on a regular basis from our host, MJ Klein. Thank you, MJ. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.